Yeah, so we're going to get started. Hi, everybody. Good morning. So this is our monthly TSC meeting. It was supposed to be a week ago, and then we pushed it due to some conflicts. So one of the only agenda item in this meeting is the Centaurus dashboard presentation and demo, actually. So just to kind of give you folks a background, Click to Cloud team is going to do the presentation and the demo. And this is the project we did with our community member, Click to Cloud and FutureWay collaboration. So essentially, if you folks are familiar with Kubernetes upstream has a dashboard. So what we did was, as you know, Centaurus, we kind of re-architected a lot of functionality of Kubernetes code base. So we essentially, what we did was in this project, we enhanced and kind of re-architected the dashboard functionality so that you can do all the Centaurus specific things using the dashboard as opposed to kind of doing command line, kubectl and all that. So things such as, in order for us to kind of enable the scalability, we had to do partitioning at every level. So we have tenant partitioning, we have resource partitioning, and then we have this multi-tenancy. So in order for us to enable multi-tenancy, we have this user management capability, which we added as part of Centaurus. And then we have a new workload types. It's not just the containers, but you can orchestrate VMs as well. So essentially, all of these things have been incorporated as part of Centaurus dashboard, actually. So that's pretty much high level. I know Roshan is going to talk about a bit more as well. So I'll let you take over, Roshan, whoever wants to take over.
Yes, Arshi will start. Arshi. Arshi, you are on mute.
Hello.
Hello, yeah.
Yeah.
So for today, as Deepak has already mentioned that all the contribution that we have gone through. So here's the high level of the, just a high level recap of what we have gone through from the last few months. So firstly, we will be having about regarding this. So here we have the recap and a global model delivery where we are aiming to use AIML, and then what we have gone through and all the community efforts that we have, all the community efforts and for the Mizar and Octos integration and all those things we have contributed to that from the start of the project. Then if we come for the dashboard portal, initially the dashboard portal was quite basic, and then we along with the FutureWay team team has tried to incorporate several functionings over there, like Centaurus cluster, multiple TPs and RPs functionality, and authentication using username and password. Initially it was based on only on token. It was initially only be token based. Then it has been changed to username and password. Then added the tenant management, user management functionalities, several cluster monitoring, quota management features, and various other workloads and functionalities to the dashboard, and isolation based on the user type of the user that we are using, either tenant admin, super admin, or you can say a general tenant user. So these were the top goals, and for that we have come through a dashboard architecture where we had several deliverables and added the various functionalities as already discussed. So this is the high level dashboard portal, dashboard architecture, and we can go through the portal in detail after this, which Roshan will showcase. And along with this dashboard function, apart from the dashboard UI, we have delivered demo video for this for the sake of reference and And to make it more user friendly, we had provided several documents and source codes and everything, test plans, test results, everything for a layman, for a new user. It can be to make it more user friendly. This is just a comparison of what UI changes has been done to the initial. This you can see. This is the initial Kubernetes basic dashboard, which has been changed to this now, and the functionalities, and you can see the UI changes over there, and the parameters. Different parameters have been added for several monitoring, like CPU monitoring and VM workload management and everything.
Okay, Arshi.
So this is a simple comparison of the old architecture and the new architecture, connecting multiple TPs and multiple RPs, yeah, using various APIs.
So yeah, Arshi, hold on that slide. Hello.
Yeah, Roshan, you're audible.
Go to previous slide, or I will share my screen.
This slide?
Let me share my screen.
Okay.
Okay. Is my screen visible?
Yeah, we can see it, Roshan. Go ahead.
Yeah. So this was the old architecture in which we had a in dashboard service we had a front end, back end, and one API server it will connect to. So we have modified the backend client and added functionality like it can connect to multiple API servers. As in Centaurus, we do have multiple API servers. Like for each partition, we have separate API server. So the backend of the Centaurus dashboard service can connect to the API server of each partition and get details from that and perform operation on tenants also. And along with this, we have added database support into dashboard service because of like we have added user management feature also in the dashboard, which we will discuss it later in next slides. So in dashboard service, we have added user management feature in which we have three types of user: cluster admin, and tenant user. Cluster admin will manage whole cluster, Centaurus cluster, and tenant admin will manage one tenant, which will be assigned to that tenant admin. And under the tenant admin, we will have a tenant user which can perform operation under some namespace, like it will be namespace scope. And we can manage and monitor Centaurus cluster at various level. Like the cluster admin can see all the cluster resource details, and the tenant admin can see only his tenants details only. He can't be able to see other tenants detail, and tenant user will get details of all resources which is deployed under the specific namespace within a tenant. Yeah, and other features we have added is like earlier token-based mechanism was there, and we have added support for username and password mechanism. That is our own developed by CryptoCloud team, and we have modified and developed dashboard backend APIs, which is around 80 plus APIs we have modified to make it work with the multiple tenants, and user can deploy workload on any specific tenant, which was not possible before. And we have added support for VM workload management also in this, and quota management. So let's go to the demo part. So far, do you have any queries or question?
Keep going, Roshan.
Fine. Let me reshare, I guess, and share this.
Roshan, your Outlook is open actually.
Yeah, now is it visible?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is login screen of Centaurus dashboard portal. Now I will log in using a cluster admin credential, that is Centaurus. It will be by default Centaurus and Centaurus @123. So this is how cluster admin will like get an front page in which he can get details of resource partition and tenant partition, and cluster admin can get details of cluster roles, tenants. He can create tenants and manage it, and user management. He can create any type of users like tenant admin, supported cluster admin, and cluster admin. And he can get details of all CRDs present in the cluster. So let's go to the first part of resource partition. Is my screen visible to you?
Yeah, Roshan, just a quick note, Roshan, do you want to give a quick glance of the existing dashboard and what is the net new development?
Uh, yeah. Give me one.
Sure.
Uh, this is how old dashboard looks like, the Kubernetes dashboard.
Hey, we're not able to, you're not sharing the whole screen. We're looking at the Centaurus
Okay.
dashboard.
Now, is it
Yeah,
visible?
yeah, we can see.
Yeah. So this is the old dashboard, how it looks like before. It is Kubernetes dashboard, and this is how it was, the user interface was of Kubernetes dashboard. And we have like added user management. So all these tabs went under like for tenant user and tenant admin. And for cluster admin, we have like summarize it more in CentOS dashboard. Is this visible to all?
Yes, it's fine. Yeah, Roshan.
Yeah. So that was there, and this is how cluster admin like front view is. And if you go into the resource partition, we can get details of all nodes present in that RP. That it is detail of RP1. This is node details of all RP1. All three nodes are present and one master. And if you go inside this, we can get details of all pods deployed and allocation, memory allocation, and all the conditions, pods, events of that node. We can get details of that. And if you go to, this is all for resource partition. And for tenant partition, like we have set up 2 TP and 2 RP cluster. So we have wrote a logic like if we have 2 TP, then all tenant name started with A2M will go to TP1 and N2Z will go to TP2. So we have followed that rule for now in the dashboard, and all the tenant name which start from A and A to M will lie in the TP1. So these are the tenants present in the TP1. System will be present in all the tenants,
All the TPs.
all the TPs, yeah, all
Yeah.
the TPs. And if you go inside the click to cloud tenant, we can get details of all resources, ports, namespace created under that click to cloud tenant. So yeah, we can go inside each pods and get details of that also. So that details we can share if you want.
You may want to talk about the system thing. You just click on system for TP1 and TP2, and how did you kind of just gonna talk through it?
Yeah, if we like, it will give the pods deployed in the system tenant of TP1. So like here, Centaurus dashboard, default node list, and this namespace are present in system tenant, and these are the deployments present in system tenant of TP1. And if you go inside the system tenant of TP2, it will be different one. Let me show that one also. So in this, 4 namespaces are present, and these are the deployments which are present in TP2, system tenant of TP2, and these are the pods which are deployed in the system tenant of TP2. So all details you can like, if you want more details, it will you can click on this link and it will, you can go inside this and get details of that one. Like if I go to replica cell, so it will go and give me detail of that replica set and pod details. So yeah, this is cluster monitoring part of the cluster admin portal, and the cluster admin can manage all cluster roles. So here we can create cluster role and we can see all cluster role created. So yeah, in this part only CRUD operation we can do on cluster role, and on tenants we can create tenant, and along with the tenant we can, like, one tenant admin will get created. Like if you click on create tenant, suppose I create demo tenant, the username is demo admin. This will be the tenant admin username, and password will be like demo@123. So we will have a demo tenant created here. It will go to TP1 as it start with D. And if you see in user management, for the same tenant, the demo admin got created. So we can log in using demo admin and perform operation on that tenant using dashboard only. So yeah.
You can talk about, in the user management, you can always create a new tenant admin too by mapping it to the right tenant. You can.
Yes, I will come to it.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
So if you click on tenant, we'll get all details like what all resources are present. By default, kube public default and kube system get created in a new tenant, and this deployment will get created automatically when we create a tenant. So yeah, now let's go to user management tab. there are three types of user: cluster admin, tenant admin, and tenant user. The cluster admin can create tenant admin and the cluster supported cluster admin. So if we have a tenant created here, like suppose we have created it manually, but we want to create a tenant admin for the that tenant, we can create a tenant admin using this dashboard. Like for the click to cloud, the click to cloud tenant, I will create one more uh, user tenant admin RW admin. So I will select tenant click to cloud. So now click to cloud will have two tenant admin. Like one is the main which got created by default while creating a tenant, and one more supported tenant that we have created, tenant admin that we have created just now. So yeah, this is all about user management, and on CRDs we can get details of all CRDs created on the Centaurus cluster. So yeah, we have used Mizar enabled Aptos cluster, so we can see bouncers and all droplet CRDs, VPCs. Subnet scaling policy. These all CRDs are present in Centaurus cluster. So this is about cluster admin portfolio, and let's go to the tenant admin portfolio. So I log out. I will log in using C2C that I already created as a tenant admin. So when tenant admin gets logged in, so he will see interface like this, or the workload details, clone jobs, ports, deployments, which all are present in the tenant. He can get details of all the resources present in the tenant. And along with that, this is tenant monitoring part. Like you can see the summary of that tenant, replica sets, ports, stateful set, ingress services, PVC secrets, all the kind resource kind here. Okay, tenant admin can create roles and manage roles also. So he can perform CRUD operation on roles. Just give me a second. It's working. Sorry. Should I have taken remote, so the lag is there.
Yeah, it seems to be pretty slow though.
No, actually my net has some issue. That is why it's got hanged, I guess.
Then Amit can he do that then if you have a problem?
Yeah, let me check. 1 second.
Hi, Deepak. Prashant here.
Hi,
Deepak,
hi Prashant. Hi.
hey, I see quite a bit of functionality here. I mean, it's a good job. So I just wanted to understand from the community perspective, like, can we deploy this along with the Centaurus on this on any customer location?
Oh, that's the plan. I mean, it's gonna be upstream to Centaurus repo, basically. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
So along with the admin dashboard, the whole
Yeah.
hyperscale or scaling of the Centaurus environment can be done, and user
Exactly.
management can be managed through here.
Exactly. I mean, that's, you can see that, how complex the environment is, and and we can talk about it more. Right now, it's kind of hardwired for 2 TPs and 2 RPs, like 2 partitions. But imagine we need to enhance it in future so that you can have n number of RPs and number of TPs and all that. And then you can have a very complex user management as well. So all of those things, but we have a baseline in place. You don't have to go through all the command line stuff to be able to do all that kind of stuff now.
Yeah, I see like that. Almost like more than 100 screens up here, like one after another popping up. So for all the operations, which makes it much more simpler for end users from overall
because you could, exactly. This is all new functionality. The tenant user management capability was not there, and they didn't need that. Actually, there was no concept of tenant before.
No, but it's a true reality of bringing something to a hyperscale cloud, basically.
Exactly.
Showcasing like in the real time that how you can scale up. And right now it's hardwired to, as you said, like to TPs and RP, but in future it could be like a magical to see like you are able to spin so many infrastructure in the one time.
Yes. True. Are you okay now, Roshan?
Yeah, Deepak, can continue.
So, go, keep going.
Yeah. So tenant admin can see all the roles created in the tenant. So like I have created demo role and Roshan role here. And in user management, currently there is 2 tenant admin, which one we have created just now, RW admin. And the C2C was the tenant admin created when we created tenant. And I have created one more user, Roshan user. I will show you how to create one more tenant user. Like to create a tenant user, we should have a role created here. So right now, like I have created demo role and Roshan role. Roshan role will work on only Roshan namespace, and demo role will work on default namespace. So I will create a user which will work on Roshan namespace. So tenant user. User. Let's transfer. And we'll select a tenant. Like if you want to give default tenant, can give default also, and I will give Roshan tenant here. And role already created I have is Roshan role, so I will assign that role to that user. So I have one more user created, like will reflect in a second. So yeah, the new user got created here, which we can like using which we can log in and deploy workload on the Centaurus cluster under that tenant. The tenant is click to cloud here right now. So likewise, the user can perform quota management also, like assign quota, demo, namespace I will assign to Roshan. Services, we can like assign 10 services. Likewise, we can add limit the namespace quota here. So create. So we have a demo quota, like we can manage quotas using quota management, like as I shown before. And likewise, we can the tenant admin can see the clone jobs, deployments, jobs, namespaces present in that tenant, and pods which all are present in the tenant. So yeah, in deployments also we have Nginx and pod EMS. And likewise, we can get all the resource, all kinds of resource details in this. And we have added virtual machines also. So like I have deployed one VM, VM YAML, and as it is not working in Centaurus, so it stuck in the failed pending phase. So if I click inside this, I will get a detail of all like type, status, and all the details I can get it here.
Yeah, this is the thing to highlight. This is a unified behavior basically. So you can launch any type of workload, not just the container workloads, but the virtual
Yes.
machines. In future, we can add more workloads as well.
Yes,
That's,
Deepak.
that's amazing, actually. It's good to see the VM and the Kubernetes cluster working side by side, and
Yep,
you can
yep,
manage the policy at central location for.
exactly. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's actually
So,
pretty cool. And does the user management is also applicable for the hybrid workloads?
Hybrid.
yes.
Like for both Kubernetes as well
Yeah.
as
It doesn't matter. Yeah, if workload is a workload in our case. It doesn't matter if it's a VM or a container. It doesn't really matter. It's a
that is
workload.
so cool.
Everything is in a pod basically. So VM is also in a pod too. So container is in a pod also. So yeah.
And then scaling can be done from here for any type of workload, right?
Any what doesn't matter. Workload is a workload. Yes, that's true.
That is awesome. That's super cool.
I see Stefan in there. Hi, Stefan.
Hi, everyone. I was enjoying the presentation. Didn't want to interrupt as I was joining.
Oh, okay. Yeah, good. Yeah, keep going, Roshan.
Yeah, fine. So
So
in virtual
you,
machine,
you may want to just highlight the VM workload has a different metadata displayed actually because the relevant one. Because in the case of container, you see something else, but for VM, this is what it makes sense. What the image is, what the
the
all
key
those.
pair, yeah, key pair face, and
Yeah.
these are
Yeah.
important. Image, key pair, and face.
Just one comment, just make sure everybody understand why the phase they are stuck in pending phase, because this is run against a test simulation environment. That's why you can see all the pod other VM containers stuck in the pending phase, because there's no working runtime underneath that simulated environment. Just make sure everybody understand that part. Go ahead, Roshan.
Yeah. So tenant admin can like manage its workloads and config maps, secret, storage class, persistent volume, PBCs, all these kinds of resources the tenant admin can see under that click to cloud tenant. And this is all for the tenant admin. And let's log in using the tenant user portfolio. So I have created like the Ocean user I will take. So yeah, when the tenant user gets login, he will not see the user management portfolio, the tab, because he can't manage user, and he can only deploy resources on the Roshan namespace. So he can't select other namespace. So this is the workload that is already deployed on the Roshan workspace and pods, and a similar like tenant admin, he can also see clone jobs, deployment jobs, pods, replica set, stateful set, and virtual machines also, which is deployed in the Roshan namespace. The which I have shown before is deployed in default namespace, so it can't be visible here. So let me deploy one pod here. Right now I have Nginx pod. I will add one more Nginx. So yeah, I have just now deployed one more pod, Nginx2, and it got deployed here successfully. So similarly, user can like the cluster admin can manage a whole cluster, and tenant admin can manage whole tenant resources and deployments. And likewise, the tenant user can also manage resources under that specific namespace. So yeah, this is all about the Centaurus dashboard. Any questions so far? Any queries?
Yeah, I think I know Stefan came a bit late, so so essentially, because this Centaurus is a pretty complex environment. We have different. So Roshan showed how the dashboard looked before in the upstream dashboard. So we have three different personas actually. So the persona means cluster admin will see something else, and the tenant admin will see something else, and then the tenant user will see whatever is relevant to him basically. So in order for us to enable it, we had to create a user management functionality as part of Centaurus, basically. So depending on the user role, he will see whatever he's supposed to see and do things whatever he's supposed to do. So we created a very basic rudimentary user management, but it can be plugged in, with the grand, the user management functionality. But what we have is out of the box is very basic one, user password, and that's pretty much it, and the corresponding role to it. And so that's the kind of a main distinction. And now for a cluster admin, all of the functionality which Roshan showed is all brand new basically. So all the partitioning and the multi-tenancy and all that, that's all kind of gets displayed and as part of the cluster admin and the tenant admin role basically. And the user admin, the tenant user is pretty much the same as before, except for the fact that we have added capability to launch new workload types such as VM. But other than that, it's pretty much the same as before, the tenant user level persona.
Yeah, also earlier we are not able to deploy a workload like on different tenants. Like we can deploy on system tenant only, and now you can deploy your workload on any tenant you want. Depends on what access you have.
Good.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, this looks really nice. Really, really nice.
Future Way team, Yingwang, Sonia, you guys, any comment?
No, from my side, it's really nice for the whole dashboard. It's a good presentation. Thank you so much.
Yeah, great. I mean, so this is a good start. I mean, as I said, as Prashant mentioned, the whole key, the value proposition of Centaurus is you can kind of spin up resources and partitions on the fly. So currently that functionality is not there, but but we do have a scale out function, capability, but 2 TPs and 2 RPs. But eventually, the goal is to extend it to make it more dynamic, so you can spin it up, spin it down, and all of these kind of things. I keep adding nodes to the resource partition, and then keep on changing tenant partitions depending on what the requirements are. So that's the kind of goal. So there are a lot of work still needs to be done, but I think the baseline looks good actually, because otherwise before this go ahead. Somebody was saying. Okay, I think so. That's pretty much covers everything. Anything else? I think it's a great job. I mean, so this is good. That's a good contribution, and this will be upstream to our Centaurus repo. So whoever wants to take it and run with it, they can. It's all open source Linux Foundation, project. So.
Yes, Deepak, sure. Thanks, and we are looking forward to more contribution to Centaurus community.
Great, yeah. Thank you.
Deepak, can it be experimented on any cloud by installing this thing like as an option, for example, Do you think like we should wait for some time to bring it as an offering, or is it in the current state with 2 TP and 2 RP? It's good to start deploying some workload on it.
I mean, yeah, so just to show the capability, if somebody wants to experiment the partitioning, to see how it works, because the baseline, the upstream Kubernetes doesn't have all this. So at
Yeah,
least try out the scale out capability. So we have multiple TPs, 2 TPs and 2 RPs, so they can start playing around, with it. But as I mentioned, we're gonna extend all this and make it more dynamic so that you can have multiple whatever RPs, n number of RPs and n number of TPs. And then the whole gateway thing, so one of the key thing is Roshan mentioned right now it's kind of a very hardwired that any tenant name starting with A to M goes to tenant partition 1 and N to Z goes to TP2. So instead of that, we're going to have a gateway that will automatically do this kind of a partitioning and rebalancing and all that. That currently doesn't exist actually. So that will evolve as well as we go along. The gateway. So we call it a tenant gateway, basically.
yeah, I was presenting in one of the telcos conference recently, and there were their IT staff which were very interested in seeing that how they can use some of this capability that we have in Centaurus. So I think I'll bring it back to them to at least experiment at the initial level and give feedback.
So Sonia, question. Sonia, hi Sonia. So have we upstreamed that to our code base yet, or are we still doing some work?
Do you mean for the Aptos upstream?
Yes.
So far for the Aptos upstream, for now, we're not adding new features.
No. This dashboard functionality, the one we have built out, is that upstream now?
You mean for the repo?
Yeah, repo. Yes.
Yeah, that's already
there. Okay.
Yeah, already under Centaurus infra dashboard, but
Got it.
still not under master branch.
Oh, still not under master branch.
Yeah,
okay.
Okay. Still under Centaurus branch.
Okay. So Prashant, so that was your question. So that answers your question. So there is a branch. So it's not upstream to master branch yet, but they can always take this, from this branch and then play around with it.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody wants to chime in? I think this pretty much covers, I think. And Roshan, anything else you want to cover, or we pretty much covered everything?
Deepak,
Yeah,
hello. Yeah, so Deepak, I'd like to highlight the contribution of Click Cloud team for next. Should I? Hello.
We have few minutes. Yeah, you can. Yeah. So actually, the person who's not there, actually, Pang is not there. So
maybe next time.
Yeah. Because we can do that actually. Next time we can allocate some time and have more discussion on the edge side actually in the community meeting. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
I think that will be a good thing to do. Yeah, because Pang is not here. So the folks who are here in this call, they may not even know about that functionality actually, what you're going to talk about. Okay, so next time we can have a focus on the edge side, and then you can talk about the work you've done as a community member and Click to Cloud as a community member. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
I think, Deepak, one more thing that is coming up is CodeFest 3.0. So every year there is a CodeFest, right? So 1.0, 2.0 has been done. So the team is planning to get the CodeFest 3.0.
Okay.
So we'll keep the community apprised of it, which is like a global event every year.
Sure.
And that's our way to sort of showcase to Microsoft, IBM, that the technologies are coming together and what's the highlights.
That'll be great. That'll be real. So just we did that last time too, around the same time.
That's right. Yeah, every year it's the same time we bring the community. Last time we had about 2,000 plus participation and then about 40 speakers that time in the CodeFest.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think we are planning this time also that we can have a global level launch again. this time we have a lot to show now. So that's better.
Yeah.
That how
Well,
people can use.
we have added a lot of edge capability. We didn't, there was not much emphasis on distributed cloud last time around. So I think this time around with a lot of, obviously we have dashboard and a lot of new capabilities actually as part of Centaurus.
That's wonderful. That's very exciting. Cool. All right.
Thanks, guys. Hey, the other thing, so we don't have actually a quorum, but next time around, I'm going to put that in an agenda item. One of the things which we are proposing, we've been kind of internally discussing, and then we'll probably do a vote and have a discussion that we want to open up this meeting to not just the TSC members, but to anybody whoever wants to kind of join, basically. That way we'll have more, people can get visibility to what we are doing as opposed to just TSC members, in there. So that we can have that discussion, next week and then do a vote and see if it makes sense, if the TSC committee agrees to that or not. So that's one of the things I wanted to discuss, but we can do that next time around. So, any thoughts or anything to expand the community base? I think that's one of the thought we have, that we should open it up, not just restricted to TSC members, basically, this monthly meeting.
I think it's a good idea to open it up to others, as long as somebody can wait that there's not too many vague ideas coming in other than what we are focusing on, like from the hyperscale.
Yeah, definitely. Well,
That's
the thing is, at the
only-
end of they can
that's
have an
what we
idea,
got.
but it has to be approved by TSC. So anyway.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the only concern I have. But other than that, it's a good idea.
Great. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Then, so the thing. I need to check out. I'm dialing in from a hotel, so I'm gonna get kicked out in the next 1 hour. Thanks, guys. Thank you, everybody. See you
Thanks,
guys.
Deepak. Happy journey.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Nice to meet you.
everybody.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Take care.